Here's the reality. Rich people have access to loopholes that give them an unfair advantage. And it took me plenty of years of making mistakes as a house flipper before I realized that those are accessible to people like you and me. So let me cut out all the years of mistakes for you guys and let's get straight into those loopholes. Number one, the rich get a lifelong discount. I'm sure you've gone out to eat recently with your spouse or your significant other. Maybe you bought some new tools, maybe a new computer, a new camera, maybe a Yeti cooler. Well, imagine if you were able to get a 30% discount on those items for the rest of your life, like Black Friday every day. Well, that's what rich people do. And here's how it works. You see, most of us have a job where you're gonna get your income. Let's say you're making $100,000 a year. But before you get to put that income into your pocket, you have to pay taxes. Not only the federal taxes, but you have to pay state taxes, you have to pay Social Security, you gotta pay Medicare. Likely, you're paying a lot more than 30%. So first you pay the government, then you get to put $70,000 in your pocket, then you go take your spouse out for dinner, maybe you buy that new computer or some new tools, and now you have $50,000 left over. But you see what happens for house flippers, or really any business owner, is you get your income of $100,000. Then you take your spouse out, you buy the new tools, or you buy the new camera, and then you get to put $80,000 in your pocket, and that is the money that you get taxed on. Now that's only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to mitigating paying taxes. And real estate is really the best vehicle for doing that. Now we're even gonna talk about some of those advanced strategies later on today. But first, let's talk about loophole number 2, which is getting infinite returns on your money. Now back in high school, I played football. I know, hard to believe, but football season happened at the same time as girls volleyball season, and they were really good. So a lot of times they were out of town on volleyball tournaments. So the parking lot was full of their cars. And my buddy, nicknamed Spear, he happened to take really long showers after football practice. So me and some of my other buddies used to hurry up and get out to the parking lot, and we'd wiggle the girls' cars around Spear's SUV so he'd get parked in. But sometimes there wasn't enough of us to move the vehicle. So what we'd do is we'd get these really long metal rods, and then we'd prop them up on something so we could lift up one edge of his car and then start wiggling them into place. Now, why did we take those really long metal rods and prop them up against something? Well, guys, that's so we could gain leverage. That means that with a little bit of force, you can move big, heavy things. And the same concept applies in real estate. It's actually why real estate is one of the most powerful investment vehicles out there, because with a little bit of money, you can lift up a whole house. And actually, in some cases, you don't have to use any money at all. And when you use no money, well, that's infinite returns. But let me show you how this plays out. We have this flip. Let's say we buy it for $180,000. We do a $50,000 renovation on it. So all of your costs are $230,000. The value of that property is $300,000. You sell that thing, you make a $70,000 profit on zero or low money invested. That is an infinite return, or at least a super high return. That means that when you go sell this thing, you get whatever money you initially invested, you pay off the loan, and you get $70,000 extra to put in your pocket. Great deal, right? The question is, who the heck's gonna give you that money? Now, there's 4 types of leverage, or at least 4 main types. Banks, they're gonna give you that money. And you're gonna have low interest rates with a bank, but they are gonna make you put some more money down. Then there are hard money lenders. Hard money lenders are actually built just for us. But these are big companies that will fund not only the acquisition of the property, but also the renovation and even some other costs. You can get really close to coming no money out of pocket with these guys. And then there's private money. This is where you either partner up with somebody who has a lot more cash than you do, or you go raise money from other high net worth individuals. And then finally, sellers. The person that you're buying the property with, they might be willing to, what we would call, hold a note for you as you go flip that property. So let's say you're gonna buy somebody's house for $150,000. They may let you pay that $150,000 when you go and sell the house after flipping. Now, why is that so important? Well, it's because of one, the infinite return that you get. Once again, if you don't put any of your money in and you get a profit out of it, the return is infinite. Two, it's the smartest money. That's why these people will loan you money for real estate, is because any smart investor knows that that is a safe and powerful asset. And number three, it is like the only thing out there that is merit-based. That's right. People will give you money based on the strength of the deal, not necessarily the strength of your credit. Now, we've been talking about flipping properties, but what if instead of selling it, you actually got to keep it? And that's loophole number three. The real flip transforms into generational wealth. So what is the real flip? You see, you have basically two choices when you go to flip a house. Sure, you can sell that house to the market and take your $70,000 profit and put it in your pocket. Or you can do what we call, a little too much tape there, a BRRRR. That's buy, renovate, rent, and then refinance. That means that you still buy the property for $180,000. You do the rehab for $50,000. Your costs in total are $230,000. The value is $300,000. But the thing is, a bank will give you some of that money back. So a bank will take, in a lot of cases, 80% of that value. Once again, too much tape here. And they will give you a loan for $240,000. That's 80% of that $300,000. So now you recoup the initial cost, the $230,000, and there's actually $10,000 left over that you get to put in your pocket. But here's the craziest thing, guys. Do you remember this example here where we said if a flipper gets an income of $100,000? Well, that $10,000 that we just talked about, it's not even counted as income. It's counted as debt. Therefore, it is not taxable at all. Zero taxes get paid on that. And that is the biggest loophole of them all. You see, you just get to recoup your money every time. The initial investment gets recouped that you probably borrowed from somebody else in the first place. And then you get a little bit of extra to put in your pocket that's not taxable at all. That's how you keep growing and growing and growing, and you get more and more properties. Now, sure, you have a loan on those properties that has a monthly payment, but you put a renter in that house, they pay you rent, and you use that money to pay off the loan. And there's some left over that you also get to put in your pocket. And that's taxable at a way lower rate than the money that you make at your day job. Now, two more things. Eventually, that rent income will be enough for you to live off of. And the biggest thing is eventually those loans will be paid off. And then the amount of rent money that you get every month is humongous. And that's how people become wealthy. That's how people have things to pass on to the next generation. Now, guys, I want to say one more thing here. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Now, I know that getting into real estate and flipping houses can be really scary, because it was for me when I started out as well. I thought about all the things that could go wrong. And that's what everybody else wants to talk about, is all the things that could go wrong and how it could be bad, but it also could be great for you. See, the alternative is that you spend the best days of the best years of your life doing a job that you don't like, or doing something that is not building towards the future that you really want. And I can't think of anything that's more scary than that. And these are just skills like anything else. Once you are able to put them together, once you're able to make sense of all the different steps, you just start building up each one of those skills. And I made a whole video about all of the steps that you need to take as a house flipper. I call it House Flipping 101. It's going to give you the guide for what skills, strategies, and methods that you need to work on so you can work on becoming a house flipper full-time, becoming a real estate investor full-time. Work on building towards the life that you want. So I hope I see you there.